Hi everybody, so here we are with a quick rundown of my basic problems with this RC18B2 T2 kit which I assembled yesterday. Got the main belts out at the moment just so that I can show you the problems at the rear. So as you can see, we have our diff right here, and when the spur gear sits in this spur gear and slipper holder thing, the belt goes around both belts go around the spur and slipper and around this. But before I get to the actual belt problems, check this out. You can see how much plate we have there. It's just astonishing. No extra shims supplied in the kit to solve that, and of course now I've filled the diffs with black grease and assembled them thinking that they'd be alright. I'm going to have to disassemble them, get my hands dirty, find some shims from some other kit from downstairs, oops, and see what I can do to resolve that. But that is amazing. Okay, so accepting that can be solved with a bit of shimming, let's slip the belts on the spur and slipper. So you've got your spur and slipper right there. It's actually a really nice thing, I must say. They made it work really well. Excuse me while I sneeze. Okay, so rear belt goes around there like that. Front belt goes around there like that. Pop it into its bearing holder. Now immediately the problem is that the pinion rubs on the belt. Now I'm pressing down on the top of it. It's properly seated, fully seated. I've got the notchiness caused by the motor, of course, and a little bit by the belt, which is just very tight. But as you can see, when going forwards, which would be that direction, there is quite a lot of rubbing. How much closer I can get that and it stay in focus. If I lift that out a little bit, you can see still contact, still contact. There it comes off. I mean, that's a lot of contact. And there's no real solution for that except to get long shank pinions and Dremel down where the belt touches. Now the most bizarre thing is, if you search the internet for this issue, you'll find that Team Associated claim that under power, under load, this doesn't touch, which is quite ridiculous. I mean, you can see the bend there. The pinion is acting like an extra tensioner. There is very good contact. Fortunately, on this pinion supplied with the kit, the grub screw is in fact flush. So the belt's not going to get damaged by that, but it's just extra friction in the drivetrain, which in this drivetrain is so not needed. So the problems get worse as you pop the rear diff in. Because of this phenomenal amount of play, you do actually have contact in there between, hopefully you can hear that, plastic on plastic. And as I say, this will be solved by the shimming as well. Obviously I'm going to shim this side fully, probably take the shims out of the other side. But I mean, such a tragic design flaw. And this model's been out for a year. Scary stuff. So the next thing, of course, is the tensioner, the front belt tensioner, which is actually, there's no way you're going to be able to see that, but it's in there, it's under there. You have to remove this top cover. Now, as you can see, my model has these two dimples, which are indicators that it's the updated top cover, but still I have tremendous tension in those front belts. I'm going to do what I can to rebuild and reshim this now, and then I'm going to give it a little run around the floor and we'll see what kind of temperatures we get, because last night as it was, the ESC, nice little Orion Vortex system combo there, that's 7,500 kV. The ESC thermaled, and I had to stop after 2 minutes of 5 miles an hour. I mean, as you can see, looking at the kit, it's quite a work of art. I mean, got the turnbuckles on there, they're standard with the kit. No need to go for the titanium ones. It's not like this car has a weight problem. The steel ones are very good. If we could just solve these drivetrain issues, it would be a good car. Oh, I nearly forgot the very worst thing of all, in my opinion. If I hold the car like that, so it's a bit tricky with the camera between us. Steering play. Now, watch this blue ball end. It doesn't move. The play is all in the system. In fact, it's in this part here. There is a bell crank rod, whatever you want to call it, column basically, underneath here, in here. And when I was assembling the kit, I noticed that this pin was far smaller than the hole into which it goes. I mean, that is just astonishing. Look how much play, and once again, look, the actual servo arm is not moving. The play is all coming from this area here. Pretty shocking. Obviously some kind of bell crank upgrade is going to be necessary before I even consider running this with a 7,500 kV motor, because at 100 to 120 kilometers an hour, which I'm expecting from this car, this kind of adjustment in the steering, if it decides to do it on its own, is going to leave me with a car in very many pieces. So, I mean, at the moment, even if I do solve the drivetrain issues, I can't run it because of that. I'm going to have to look into some kind of upgrade. So that concludes the basic problems with this kit. Very disappointing, really. Particularly the steering and this pinion rubbing problem, which and I already have a very small pinion on there. So, and I've already tried to offset the motor as low as possible. And look, you see this gap here. The motor is sitting as low as it possibly can. But I have to rotate it this way in order to get the pinion, which is very small, to mount up with the spur. So even making it low in the motor mount is actually doing very little for me, because I still have to turn it. It's, as you can see, it's at like 45 degrees there. I still have to turn it to make it contact with the spur, which is just lifting it too high. I don't know how many extra teeth 6 teeth is going to be, but I'm going to try. The next thing I'm going to try, rather than dremeling pinions, which is not something I want to do or should be necessary, I'm going to try the 66 tooth spur. So maybe that will create enough size that it'll become less of an issue. Anyway, short running vid later.